So I just got my numbers for the 30th anniversary in Japanese. And I got to say that this whole hype around the 30th anniversary is a little bit obnoxious, if I'm being honest. So here in the US, we have GameStop. People are calling it Game Scalp. And I didn't think it was that bad compared to like the market price. People are paying market all the time. And I thought it was, I don't necessarily want to support GameStop in terms of like the high prices for stuff that they get at like distro prices. And I don't really know what their business model is. I don't know how much they get it for, but from like Target and Sam's Club, they're getting product at way below MSRP and then they sell it at MSRP. But in terms of GameStop, I have no clue what they get it at. And the fact that they started off at maybe market TCG player prices, and they just keep going up and up and up and up. I think it's a little bit obnoxious for them to do it. And so on my end, in terms of the Japanese 30th, and then the Rayquaza set actually too, I got box prices roughly around a little close to $300 a box per box, and that does not include shipping. That doesn't include tariffs. It doesn't include anything. That's just the base box price for the 30th. And then I got pretty close to $200 for the Rayquaza set. I don't know how other people are in my situation, what prices they're getting for that set, but I can't afford to purchase them at that price. Like I can buy a bunch of boxes. Like, hey, I have a customer base to where if they want those boxes at that price, I'll offer it to them and I'll get it for them. But I personally cannot buy a bunch of boxes and expect them to sell at that price. So the plan is I'm just going to wait a couple weeks. I'm going to wait a couple weeks for that to die down and get back to where I can purchase them pretty consistently and then sell them to people at a good price. But anyway, if this is your first time here, my name's Stefan. I run chaoscard.com where we specialize in selling Japanese booster boxes and some ancillary products as well. I thought going into the Japanese market, I think I would have better time, an easier time to get products at a reasonable price and provide to customers that want Japanese or just want some sort of alternative to rip instead of getting the crazy prices that are here in the US. And so back to the story, like I'm not able to purchase those box prices. I'm going to wait a couple weeks. I've reached out to some people that have showed interest and that have bought from me in the past. And they're like, yeah, I can't afford those prices. I'm just going to wait. So in terms of my business, it's not really moving forward in the term, like the sense of like, hey, me making a small profit so I can bring in more boxes so I can provide more boxes for the community here in Salt Lake City. And so we're going to hold off. We're going to hold off for a little bit. I think both those sets are extremely awesome from what I've seen. And I think those are going to be doing great things in the long run. But right now, the hype has just kind of got me down in a sense of like, I'm not purchasing them. So for example, I have, let's see here. So I'm still trying to figure this out, but I've got this Mega Dream box I bought at the peak, and then I don't know if it was because of the summer slowdown or if it was because there's not as much interest in Japanese, but the prices on TCG Player didn't reflect the Japanese prices that I was getting them at, and so they dropped super low. So I'm actually negative on these boxes, and luckily for me, I'm in a good financial standing to where I didn't put a bunch of money on a credit card. I still have boxes at a reasonable price, so I'm just going to hang on to them until it's reasonable to sell them. And so for people that look at my website and see those box prices, you can buy them now. I think if you're a sealed investor or if you're a person that just likes to hold on to sealed product, I think you can buy really at any of this price. But if you're a sealed collector or you just want to rip some boxes, now is the time to buy those boxes because I don't think they're going to go any lower unless something drastic happens, which based on what I've seen so far, that doesn't seem like the case. So like for example, those Mega Dream boxes, I bought the Abyss Eye boxes that I'm upside down in. I've actually sold them at a decent price. I made about $5 a box, which is good because I'm just going to put it back in. Maybe I can buy a couple extra boxes on the next shipment here. But those are few and far between with what's currently going on right now. And so back to GameStop, I think GameStop's a little obnoxious for just, they're constantly increasing their prices. I don't know where they're getting their decisions from, but I've had a few friends that have purchased the pre-sale. Luckily, they got it in when it was a little bit lower. But now, like, hey, if I wanted to go buy an ETB or an SPC, or I guess pre-order those from GameStop, they're like, I think $1,000, something crazy like that. And gosh, GameStop's opinion is like, oh yeah, we're just trying to combat scalping, but they're just doing the same shit that everybody else is. And you want to buy Japanese booster boxes at this price, I can help you out by providing those booster boxes. I can get them from my supplier in Japan, but I don't think you should buy them at this point. And that might be bad business for me, but I'm a collector at heart. I want to do what's best for the community and collectors as a whole. So like I said, don't buy those boxes right now. If you really want something, buy Mega Dream. That's probably going to be your best bet at this point in time. But if you decide that you want to hold off a little bit longer, maybe it'll drop a little bit more. I don't really know how it's going to perform. The current market price seems to be going back up a little bit for Mega Dream, and I think just people are buying while it's down. They're getting their position. They want to rip some just super quickly. But anyway, I'm just rambling here. But yeah, so go ahead and check out my website, chaoscard.com. I think we have some decent prices on Mega Dream if you're comparing to other websites. I know that PokeNE has some Mega Dream on there. He's selling about, I think, 145 bucks or something like that. So I'm a little bit lower than he is. I'm not taking away. We're all competitors, right? But I think he does a good job at preparing his business properly. He knows what he's doing in terms of prices and stuff like that. And me being a smaller seller, I'm just trying to give you, my audience, my customers, a better price as a whole. So for the community right now, just hold off. I don't think that it's going to last the way it is right now. I don't think it's going to continue the way it's going. It's going to get to a breaking point where people are just refusing to pay these prices, because even though I'm a business and I'm in a good financial position, I don't want to purchase $1,000 for an SPC. I don't want it that bad. And I'm not really an investor. I guess you could say I'm kind of an investor right now, short-term investor for Japanese Pokemon, because I'm not really, I'm not going to sell and lose money on box prices. That's just not in my current power to do so, because what I have here is what I paid for and I want to sell it. So hopefully coming out of here, GameStop decides to drop their prices when the 30th comes around. I hope that those prices drop so people can actually want to open stuff. Like if you're paying $1,000 a box for an SPC or something, like, I wouldn't want to rip that. That's like, for a lot of people that like in the Midwest and stuff like that, that's like a house payment. You're making a house payment on one single product, and you're not even probably going to pull you're definitely not going to pull the value at it right now. Like if you're buying an MSRP, you're very unlikely to pull your value at it at that point, let alone being $1,000 a box. Anyway, I'm just kind of beating a dead horse right here. I personally don't think you should go to GameStop and GameScalp, and you should reserve. Hopefully they can feel that the average person that comes into their store that wants to reserve the 30th, whether it be an ETB or an SPC, hopefully they realize that it's not a good business model to just keep increasing the prices, playing on FOMO, because I'm not buying it. You shouldn't either. So, and I just wanted to touch on GameStop. And so they were planning on, I think they were still going through the purchase of eBay. Based on, I thought it was okay. I watched the CEO of GameStop kind of explain what he's trying to do with the purchase of eBay. They want to focus more on the sellers and making sure that they're taken care of. But the way they're acting, and maybe he's not making decisions, I don't know. He's the CEO. He has a say in a lot of things. By the way they're acting, I don't think it's a good business model. So anyway, hope you guys are doing well. Hope you're finding some product out there in vending machines, at Target. Hopefully you're not waiting in too long of a line. I know that sometimes I do wait in those lines to get product, but it just doesn't seem reasonable nowadays. Anyway, well, hope you guys are doing well, and we'll talk to you later.